Premier League Newcastle United vs Ipswich Town prediction, team news, lineups preview. Ipswich Town's brief return to the big time could officially come to an end on Saturday afternoon, when they faced the daunting prospect of a trip to St James Park to square off with Newcastle United. The Tractor Boys must succeed and hope that results elsewhere go their way to keep their wafer-thin survival hopes alive. Whereas the hosts, who will now welcome Eddie Howe back to the dugout, are in the thick of an unpredictable fight for Champions League football. Match preview. The temporary Jason Tindall revolution briefly carried Newcastle into the Premier League podium places, as Howe's trusty assistant filled in for his superior while he recovered from a bout of pneumonia, but the Magpies had their wings clipped and then some against Aston Villa last week, while Fabian Schär briefly restored parity after a 33-second Ollie Watkins opener. An 11-minute onslaught in the second 45 saw Ian Maatsen and Amadou Onana make the net bulge either side of Dan Burns' own goal, albeit a very tidy own goal, as Newcastle's 6-game winning run came to a humbling end in a 4-1 beatdown. After their astounding run to EFL Cup glory and 4 Premier League games in the first 16 days of April, the Easter trip to Villa was seemingly one match too many for a weary Magpies outfit. But a spot among the European elite remains in their own hands. Indeed, Howe and Tindall's men lie in the 5th and final Champions League place in the Premier League table with 5 rounds to go, 2 points clear of both Chelsea and Aston Villa, and they could re-overtake Nottingham Forest and Manchester City with a return to triumphant ways here. Newcastle's 4-game Premier League winning run at St James Park stands the hosts in very good stead, a streak that includes the 4-1 thumping of Manchester United and 5-0 slaying of Crystal Palace. They could now score at least 4 goals in 3 successive home matches in the competition for the first time since the 1994-95 season, sharing Newcastle's 4-goal fate over the Easter weekend. Ipswich inched ever closer to an inevitable demotion from the top flight as Arsenal ran riot at Portman Road last weekend, bearing no hangover from their successful European exertions in Madrid. Leandro Trossard's double, Gabriel Martinelli's finish and an Ethan Nwaneri effort propelled the Gunners to a 4-0 win made even more comfortable by Leif Davis's sending off for a shocking challenge on Bukayo Saka, who was subsequently the target of inexplicable jeers from some of the home crowd. However, there will be little for that portion of fans to cheer on Saturday if their side fail to earn a surprise win. A draw or defeat will confirm their relegation to the Championship, and even victory will not save them if West Ham United take a point or more away from Brighton Hove Albion. With a 15-point gap to make up to the Irons, the only way Kieran McKenna's men will pull off the greatest of great escapes is if they win their final 5 games. West Ham lose their final 5 games, and the Tractor Boys also make up a significantly inferior goal difference, highly fanciful. Then again, 3 of Ipswich's 4 Premier League wins this season have come on the road, offering the travelling army the slightest sliver of hope, but memories of Newcastle's 4-0 win at Portman Road in December may quickly extinguish such hope. Team news. Schär's equaliser at Villa Park last weekend preceded the Swiss defender coming off with a hamstring complaint in the dying embers of that defeat, although Tindall suggested that his withdrawal was more precautionary than being a sign of anything sinister. However, Schär has not been seen in Newcastle's training images from this week, indicating that the centre-back is a serious doubt for the visit of Ipswich, an untimely concern given Sven Botman and Jamal Lascelles are still nursing knee issues. As a result, Emil Krafth may have to fill in as an emergency centre-half this weekend, where Swedish sensation Alexander Isak seeks to build on a phenomenal record of 15 goals from 14 previous appearances against promoted clubs. While Newcastle wait to learn whether they will be down a defender, Ipswich are definitely down a defender as Davis begins a 3-match ban for his red card last weekend, potentially taking McKenna's list of absentees into the double figures. Davis's ban is made more problematic by Connor Townsend's recent thigh problem, so Cameron Burgess may have to deputise at left-back at St James Park, although Ben Godfrey is another makeshift alternative. Jayden Philogene knee, Ari Janet Myrick shoulder, Wes Burns knee, Chidozie Ogbene Achilles, Sammy Smoddock's ankle, Omari Hutchinson thigh, Calvin Phillips calf and Nathan Broadhead thigh are all watching on from a crowded infirmary. Newcastle United possible starting lineup: Pope, Trippier, Croft, Byrne, Livramento, Guimaraes, Tanelli, Joelinton, Murphy, Isaac, Barnes. Ipswich Town possible starting lineup: Palmer, Tuanzebe, O'Shea, Greaves, Burgess, Morsey, Kajust, Johnson, Enciso, Clark, Delap. We say, Newcastle United 4-0 Ipswich Town. Having had a full week off from competitive action. Expect Newcastle to return to their merciless best on Saturday as they put an end to this year's Premier League relegation dogfight, which in truth has not been much of a dogfight at all. Battling a host of missing players and without a Premier League clean sheet in 2025, the visitors will go down with a whimper as Newcastle enhance their Champions League credentials. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.